Hello there folks, and welcome back to another speed paint video. At long last, I've finally got a sequel for my most popular video on my channel by far. Today, I'm going to be making more dragons based off of different types of bugs. For the record, by the way, when I talk about bugs in this video, I'm talking about arthropods. That's all I mean. I don't just mean insects, I mean all arthropods. That includes crustaceans. Okay, thank you. Anyway, I always like drawing bugs. I think they're super cute. I love working with them at my part-time job. I think they're adorable. I think they're fun to rave about. And they make for good character design inspiration. And apparently you guys also like hearing me rave about bugs, because apparently at the time of recording this voiceover, you guys have given my original bug dragon video over 20,000 views, which is crazy. What the heck? How did all of you people find me? Well, I'm glad you all like bugs. I'm glad I found fellow bug and dragon people. And I hope you guys are excited because I'm doing this again. I finally had some inspiration, and today I'm going to be drawing 6 different bugs as if they were dragons, and we're just going to have a lot of fun with it. So without further ado, let's get into the speed paint. I thought I would start off this one by doing a classic sort of family of bug, a lepidopteran, or a butterfly. Of course, as you can tell by the sona I use on my YouTube channel, I love moths and butterflies, especially the Mothman in particular. Big fan of that guy, definitely my favorite cryptid. So it's something of a tradition to use a lepidopteran in the thumbnail of each of these videos. At least so far. I say it's a tradition, this is just the second one of these so far. But the last one had a wonderful Luna moth, and for our lepidopteran today, we're going to be using the blue morpho. The blue morpho is one of my family's favorite bugs. We have this great photo of my sister when she was like 2 or 3. We were at this butterfly garden, and a big old blue morpho landed on her head, and it's just a great photo. It was so fun. I'll maybe make a recreation of it to show here, because I think that would be kind of cute. But yeah, the blue morphos are iconic, and I thought it was fitting because I represent myself with a blue mothy creature here on the channel, so I thought it was like a fitting way to start this video was by doing a blue morpho. Another thing about blue morphos that no one really talks about very much is how cool the underside of their wings are. Obviously, we all know them for their wonderful iridescent blue top, but the bottom of their wings are really cool for these amazing eye spots and stripes and other cool patternings, so that ended up becoming the dominant thing that we see on the wings in this design, because that's just how the pose ended up. I made its horns look like little skinny antennae, just like the little curly antennae you see on many butterflies, and this was overall just a very simple design that was really about the wings, because I think that's what people usually focus on when we talk about butterflies and moths in art. The wings are usually the greatest focus over any other part of the body. And I mean, who can blame them? I mean, lepidopterans have the biggest wings to body size ratio of like any animal that's ever lived on Earth that we know of, so yeah, I mean, they're worth talking about. They're pretty freaking cool. A fun thing about butterflies and moths, by the way, is that technically speaking, all butterflies are moths. Basically, you can think of it as butterflies are just one circle in the larger circle that is moths. It's just really funny, so if you're ever looking at something and you're not sure if it's a butterfly or a moth, you can always safely say that it is a moth, and you'll probably be correct. They're very cool little dudes. Their wings are very cool because sometimes they have actual pigment in them, but sometimes they don't, and instead, they get their color from the way they refract light. The name Lepidopteran comes from scaly winged, and you may or may not already know this, but butterflies and moths have little fine powdery scales on their wings. And for a lot of them, this is actually where a lot of the color and shine comes from. So it's more accurate to say that instead of it being like a colored pigment like a lot of hair and fur that you see in a lot of other animals, lepidopterans mostly just have like these little crystalline, like refracting structures on their little scales that reflect these colors. So while a blue morpho doesn't really have very much blue pigment in its body, if any at all, it actually is reflecting that blue light in a crazy iridescent way that could only be done by the way that its scales work. Looking under a microscope at butterfly wings is always super neat, and I just love this family. These bugs are super cool, they are a classic for a reason, and even though moths, like the chunky nocturnal types, are generally my favorite of the family, I can definitely appreciate a really cool butterfly when I see one. And this design was just super cute and fun to do to honor such a cool little bug. Next up, we have the pink toe tarantula as our design, and man, it's a surprise that I didn't do a spider last time. I mean, look at my username. I'm Aqua Spider Art. How did I not do a spider last time? Frankly, I just had trouble trying to figure out how to turn a spider's body shape into a dragon without it looking just like a spider with wings. And ultimately, I think I found a very funny looking solution for this one. So this here is a pink-toed tarantula, right? And tarantulas are weird because a lot of people think they're super scary because of, you know, what movies and TV shows and other crazy stuff did to them. But frankly, tarantulas are not really dangerous at all. Like, they're not deadly. I don't think anyone's ever been discovered to be allergic to them. They're just, like, they're so weird. They're also incredibly delicate. Their bones are really only as thick as, like, tissue paper, so if they fall, like, more than 2 feet, they'll probably die. It's, like, insane. They're, like, little, fuzzy, very, very, very delicate little water balloons that are just walking around. And it's crazy that people are scared of them because they are very not good at biting stuff. I have been bit by a tarantula before, and let me tell you, I hurt myself more sewing this weekend than being bit by a tarantula. And while some of them do have a venom that does hurt, like, it's not enough to take you down, you just, you know, wash your hands and you'll probably be fine. Tarantulas are really overhyped for their danger. They don't really even eat vertebrates. I know a lot of them are called bird eaters, but that's just something they don't really do with any real regularity. I mean, a lot of tarantulas just eat other bugs and other stuff, sometimes tadpoles or small frogs if they feel like it. But they're not terribly good at eating vertebrates just because their venom's not very good at it. They're way more built to digest something like a bug than they are a vertebrate. So yeah, after all that disclaimers, tarantulas, not that dangerous. They're very chill, not deadly to people really at all. And they're just little guys that are very clumsy and basically blind because of how small their eyes are. So everything that they experience, they have to basically hear or smell with their fur, and it's weird. They are such funny, clumsy little guys. So I really wanted to lean into that in this design for this dragon, because I think a lot of us assume that tarantulas are scary, but they're truly clumsy, and most of them are not very smart. I work at a bug museum and we have quite a few tarantulas there, and I would say like only a couple of them ever feel like they know what's going on at any given moment. Most of them are just kind of chilling, walking around, clumsily like climbing around or sitting in their thing. Sometimes they're just so dumb that they get scared of like the crickets that we drop in there for them to eat. They are not the brightest creatures, but they are very cool. They're very gentle, right? Like, they don't really have a very strong bite. A human has a stronger bite than a tarantula. And they're just really cool and fuzzy little senile dogs, essentially, in terms of their personality. I've been working with them for years, and I think that's the best comparison I can make is they behave like a senile dog. So this guy is a big muppety, sort of flat, senile dog-like guy. It's a pink-toed tarantula, which is an especially like fluffy and more gentle species. These guys are very prone to not biting, even more so than other tarantulas because their primary defense is to just poop at you, which, fun fact, tarantula poop is kind of like silly string. It's like white, a little bit powdery sometimes. Usually it's like silly string though. So it's really not like great if they poop on you, but it's fine. I don't even think it smells. I've never smelt tarantula poop. It's never had a smell for me. But yeah, tarantulas, they're actually super cute. Pink toes are especially gentle and popular as pets, and they have those adorable little pink paws. And man, they're super cool bugs. I can't believe I didn't do a spider last time, but I'm glad I finally figured out something here. By making it look like an old stuffed animal or like an old giant gentle dog, I think I managed to convey how tarantulas feel after working with them for so long, what it's like to actually interact with one as opposed to just like the idea of them that you see them in fiction. So I just love these guys. They're wonderful bugs and they're very goofy. There's so many different types. So it was very fun to represent one of the most popular ones here. Next up, we have another fun bug, and it is the Halloween moon crab. We have one of these at the museum that I work at, and they are super cool. Halloween moon crabs are super cute. I feel like crabs are among some of the cutest bugs, and I think they owe it to their big beady eyes and their very expressive body language. But I just think they're super cute, so I really wanted to make like a small, like very stout, chunky dragon. Its wing shape is influenced by the pincers that these guys have. And man, Halloween moon crabs are super cute. it's crazy that there's an animal out there with this color palette. And it's like purple, it's white, it's orange. It's got some black accents on some of them sometimes. Apparently there are even some where they have a pattern on their back that looks like a ghost's face. I haven't seen one of those in person, but I'm sure they exist. There's a lot of variants. Like, for example, the one we have at the museum now is like a completely different shade of purple than the one we used to have back in the day when I first started working there. So yeah, moon crabs are super cute. Halloween moon crabs have this amazing color palette. They're super cool. I think one day I'd love to get one as like a pet, because I think that would be super cool. I've kept crabs before and it's been a while, but maybe one day when I have my own place and I have a lot of room, maybe a Halloween crab would be a cool pet. They are nocturnal, but I work a lot at night, so maybe I would get to see them up and active and moving around and stuff. I just think they're so cool. I did my best to try to incorporate the classical ideas of what makes a classic Western dragon, while also trying to use a lot of crabby visual language. So it's got a very wide head. Its like teeth are kind of similar to both like classic cartoon lizard teeth, like a crocodile almost, but also kind of resemble the way that the mouth of a crab is actually built, where it's got parts coming up from beneath mostly, as opposed to things coming down from above. I mean, crabs kind of have an underbite. That's kind of the way they're built. It's also, of course, got the pincer-like wings. It's got a very chunky, stout body where you can kind of make out each of its segments. Its legs are very jointed and have the little two toes at each of them. And I tried to make its like head feel like it could be the shape of a different crab, but still it suggests the idea of like ears or horns that a dragon might have. Overall, this was just such a funny little design. I'm so happy with how it came out. It's just so darn cute. And I'm glad if you're watching this, I hope you enjoy learning about the fact that there's a Halloween crab out there, because they are so cute, and it's so cool that there's an animal out there with this little color palette. Next up, we have a bug that I think was suggested to me at the comments of my last video, but for the life of me, I cannot find the comment that suggested this, so if you suggested the female Trilobite beetle, thank you. I don't know who you are, but I thought it was very fun to do. Trilobite beetles are really weird because they have like this very strange example of sexual dimorphism, where the males look like normal, like, beetles, but the females just become giant versions of their larval form, and it kind of looks like a trilobite, which a trilobite is an ancient arthropod that is sadly extinct and no longer around, so these guys, even though they're called trilobite beetles, they are not really related to trilobites any more than any other beetle is. But they happen to have like a 3-lobed abdomen, and they look spiky, and they kind of walk around like a trilobite might have, so the resemblance is definitely there. But they are not actually trilobites, sadly. But trilobites are really cool. I actually really want to make a video where I'm going to draw them or make dragons based off of them at some point, because trilobites are among some of my favorite extinct arthropods. I just think they're so cute. I have a trilobite fossil collection. I just think they're adorable, and I really miss them. But anyway, trilobite beetles are really weird. The underside of them is so funny because it kind of makes it look like they have like this very broad plate on the top, and you can really see they're a little bit lighter towards the center of their body, where like I guess more of the mass is. And god, they are weird looking. They have like a very tiny face for the size of their body. So they have like these ginormous shoulders, and for like that shoulder plate, I wanted it to kind of look like it is a pair of wings on this design. So she's like standing there, and she's very chunky. These guys, I think beetles in general are just very robust, chunky animals, and I think that's what makes them so good. So I gave her like a nice chunky belly. She's a little bit fuzzy here because I thought that would be kind of cute and add a little bit of like texture to her design and give her a little more volume. She's got tons of little spikes with those little orange accents, just like the real trilobite beetle does. And man, this thing is neat. They are such a weird bug. And I don't know, there's just something really funny about the way nature is sometimes. It is actually pretty uncanny how much they do really remind me of a trilobite when I look at them. It does make me wonder what an actual trilobite might have looked like in terms of, like, color, you know? That's stuff we don't know a lot about right now. Maybe we'll have more research about it soon. Either way, even though the trilobites are gone, trilobite beetles are still around, and the females are so wacky looking, but super cool. And their striking colors are just amazing. They're so spiky, they're so cool. They have such little freaking heads that just make me laugh every time I look at them, but in the best way. And they're cool. They're very cool little bugs, so definitely go read about them. They're very neat. Next up, we have a bug that's a personal favorite of mine, another arachnid. It's the emperor scorpion. These are by far my favorite species of scorpion to work with, hands down. I just find them so gentle and fun and huge. I love their big claws with all their little, like, feelers on them. Their little, like, goosebumpy sete whiskers are so cute. They have the cutest face ever. I mean, every scorpion has a really cute face. Their eyes are just so dopey. It just really gets me. They're so thick, they're so funny, and their body language is really fun to learn. Like, they're genuinely one of the most fun animals that I've ever worked with because they are such divas. They're really good at complaining if they're not happy, but they're also really good at, like, showing when they are pleased about something. They are very silly little guys. I have a lot of fun working with the scorpions I see at work. I just think they're super cool. So for this design, I wanted it to really strike that signature pose that almost everyone knows a scorpion for, where it just has the tail up, nice and clear for the silhouette. And I gave it wings because obviously it's a dragon. I gave it wings that kind of feel a bit like a wasp or a bee, where they're orange and kind of thin. Since obviously scorpions don't really have wings, but dragons typically do, I thought it would be a fun way to add a little bit more motion to the silhouette and be really cool. I also added a different thing to this design, where instead of it just being what the Emperor Scorpion looks like under normal daylight, I've also added a, like, spotlight section, I guess you could say, where you can see what it looks like under UV light. A cool thing about scorpions is that they biofluoresce, so they glow under UV light like this Miku teal color, and it is so cool that they do that. And fun fact, when you shine the light on them, you can see their eyes still, because their eyes shine very black. So it reveals their goofy little face whenever you do this, and it's the best. We don't really know what it does for them. We know the mechanics of how this works, but we don't know how it helps them in the wild, so it's just a weird thing that scorpions do that is awesome. There's still much to learn when it comes to biofluorescence, especially in arthropods, who I think are very understudied. But man, it is cool. It is an awesome feature. It's something we always like to show off at the museum where I work. I just think it's super cool. They're just awesome little chunky bugs that are just so wonderful to work with. And I really wanted to show, like, both this, like, menacing and but adorable side to a scorpion, and also literally showing its, like, actual dark colored side and its green colored side. Oh, a fun fact about baby scorpions, by the way, they do not glow this color. They glow more of like a bluish lavender color under the light. And I just think that's really cute that scorpions have a built-in baby color. So if you didn't know that, now you do. And I just think it's so charming. I love scorpions. They're so fun to work with. I definitely want to make another scorpion dragon in the future. Last one is a bit of a classic, I would say. It is the Carolina mantis. Praying mantises are super popular. I think even a lot of people who claim to not like bugs, there's a few that they usually are willing to say that they do actually appreciate. Like, ladybugs are a very good one, butterflies, of course, fireflies sometimes, but of course you'll often hear praying mantis, at least where I live. Praying mantises are super cool. They're such a weird, like, diverse family. Like, I think when you're growing up, you only really learn about the classic green ones, but you've got things like orchid mantises, other flower mantids, or dead leaf mantises, or ones that look like moss or lichen, or somewhere in between. It is a very strange little family. Don't even get me started on the giraffe mantis. That one might become a dragon in the next installment in this series because, oh boy, that is a funny looking bug. Anyway, this here is a Carolina mantis. It's a mantis that's native to where I live, and it's a lot smaller than the technically non-native Chinese mantis that we also get around here, and it's a lot less green than the classic Chinese mantis that we get here. So they're a little bit more subdued, but I do think they're quite pretty. They usually have brown freckling, or sometimes they're completely brown just with a couple green accents. I actually once met one in my girlfriend's parents' backyard that was totally brown except for having light green eyes. That was a really beautiful bug. She was so cool. So yeah, I wanted to celebrate these guys and like how diverse their colors are within just one body by making a fun mantis design. This one definitely leans more into the bug anatomy than in the dragon anatomy, but to be fair, I feel like a praying mantis is already built like a classical western dragon. It's standing up on 4 legs, it's got 2 arms, which, I mean, most dragons don't have 6 legs, but it does feel like a dragon-like posture, and of course it's got the wings, it's got the tail, which is to say the abdomen. It's got that nice, smart face that is always looking around at stuff, so It was kind of fun giving reptilian features to a praying mantis silhouette. So it's got like a forked tongue, like a reptile would. It's got like the big eyes that kind of resemble some geckos or some tree frogs, for example. But they still kind of look like the compound eyes that praying mantises actually have. It's got the wings, of course, and lots of freckles to give this thing a lot of texture and really make it feel true to the Carolina mantises that I've met and seen in my life. I just think these guys are super cool. I mean, there is a reason mantises are so classic. They're, like, striking to look at. They are not dangerous at all to people because we're just too big for them to deal with. But they're still very impressive because they're such good hunters. They're so cool. They're so smart. There's a lot that we don't know about them, and yet there's a lot that we've learned, and everything that we have learned is really interesting. Like, their ability to, like, recognize human faces is crazy. Like, I know it may seem a little silly, like, of course, to us humans, our faces look very different. But, like, have you ever thought about, like, how many people are actually able to tell the difference between faces in another type of animal? Like, you only really get that if you work with them a lot, but it's really cool that mantises seem to be able to do this. They have, like, amazing depth perception too, apparently. It's just so cool. They're such weird little bugs. I just think they're super awesome. And it was very fun to make a mantis design here. I definitely want to come back and do, like, a flower mantis or, like, a deadleaf mantis in the future with another installment. But I thought I would represent them with a classic green mantis here, and better yet, with a native species that I think is pretty cool to my area. And with that, those are all the designs I've got for you guys today, so thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments which one of these designs was your favorite. I had a lot of fun with all of them, and I'm very happy with how they all came out. If you like these designs, you can actually find them on my teaser page on sweatshirts, t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, and more. So if you want to wear one of these dragons because you like it so much, you can do so by checking out my teaser page. Thank you, by the way, to my Ko-fi members for helping to make this video possible. My Ko-fi members help me by making my income more consistent. They help me live out my dream of becoming a full-time artist, and it's just really cool that there are people out there who want to support my art. If you would like to join them, consider going to check out my Ko-fi page. You can join the monthly memberships for as low as $1 a month, and signing up gets you in the credits of my videos, as well as many other various perks that are all very fun. A lot of free stuff if you decide to sign up. You can also commission me on my VGen page. I'm currently trying to get verified on VGen at the time of recording, so I would appreciate any and all commissions that you have, and I would also appreciate good reviews as well to help build my reputation over on that site. I'm also going to be teaching some classes this spring with the Leaping Fae, both online and in person, so if you want to learn more about these classes and how you can sign up and where they are and when they are, go check out theleapingfae.com/events, where you can find sign-up forms and see the calendar to see what's coming up. And with that, that's all that I've got for you guys today. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all again for giving so many views to my various dragon videos. I always have a lot of fun with them, and I hope you guys like this one too. I had a lot of fun revisiting this concept with a whole new batch of bugs. I'd love to come back here again a third time. So if you have any more suggestions for bugs you'd like to see in the future, feel free to drop them in the comments here, and maybe I'll do them next time. Thank you again, guys, for supporting the channel and following and subscribing and stuff. It's super cool that I have an audience here that likes bugs and dragons and likes the same sort of fun stuff that I do. So it's really cool to have you all here. Thank you all so much for joining. I hope to see you next week with another art video. And in the meantime, why don't you guys go out there and make some art?